got a lot to talk about today, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Yeah, check it out, guys. This is a video of Mars. Isn't that sweet? That is great quality footage. Blue skies, unlike the red skies they tried to sell us for years. From Historic Vids, this is an extremely detailed view of Mars with actual sound recorded by the Perseverance rover. Okay, let's hear that actual sound. All right, here we go. Wind on Mars. All right, wind on Mars sounds like a lot like wind on Earth, but pretty damn cool, guys. I love it. I love it. Meanwhile, Merrick von Rennenkamp from The Hill says the Pentagon is still mystified as drone drama deepens. I like that alliteration, Merrick. That was nice alliteration. Objects exhibiting advanced technology continue to fly with complete impunity over sensitive military installations and critical infrastructure. Despite the Pentagon's advanced imaging and sensor capabilities, the nature, purpose, and origin of these enigmatic craft are unknown, raising an array of pressing national security concerns. In interviews with 60 Minutes earlier this month, two recently retired four-star Air Force generals and the Air Force commander overseeing North American airspace defense begrudgingly admitted that the drones that loitered in dramatic fashion over key military assets in recent years remain a confounding mystery. Senator Roger Wicker, chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee, told 60 Minutes that despite being privy to classified briefings at the highest level, the Pentagon and the national security advisors are still mystified by the repeated incursions. Of course, you'll remember that Roger Wicker is the guy that told Matt Laszlo he didn't want to be quoted on the drones. So, I mean, that means there's something to quote him about, right? He knows something that he doesn't want to talk about. I think that's really interesting. Of course, there's no shock because he is the chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee. You would hope he would know something. I mean, right? Merrick goes on talking about the drone mystery. Now, we still don't know any answers about what the hell is going on. And I'm so glad that Merrick is still talking about this. I'm so glad that 60 Minutes did their piece on this. We need to keep the conversation going on this. We need to push for answers. We need to force the White House and Congress to give us some better answers. Clearly, we're not dealing with FAA-approved craft for research and other purposes. They had to relocate fighter jets from one base to another because of these mystery drone incursions. There you go. They had to relocate fighters because of these incursions. These are clearly not FAA-approved craft. They're all over the world. They're shutting down military installations and airports all over the world. Beijing, Turkey, it's nuts, guys. The whole thing is nuts. So, yeah, I'm so glad that America is still talking about this. We need answers on this, and we need it pronto. This is BS. Of course, I don't expect them to give answers because of reasons I've already stated, because this is so anomalous and it is affecting airports and military installations. To admit that those are UFOs would be not just UFO disclosure, but that would be catastrophic in many ways, right? It would make people feel they are unsafe because they would know that these things are capable of shutting down our airports and our military installations. So I kind of understand why they're BSing people, but the fact is they are lying to people. They are brainwashing the public, and that is wrong. We need the truth about all this. Meanwhile, Chumble sent me this awesome robot video. Check this out. I don't think this is CGI. I think this is a real freaking robot doing like kung fu and stuff. Check this out. I mean, you tell me if you think this is CGI. I think this is legit. So, yeah, you let me know if this is, it says real time at normal speed, not generated by AI. Okay. All right. Well, what do you, is this on the level, guys? This is a pretty swanky robot. Now, we could be living in a world, guys, that in just a few years, that these guys are walking around the streets. Yeah, don't kick them. They know kung fu. But yeah, that's pretty wild. That's pretty wild, guys. Meanwhile, what about the mystery under the Giza Plateau? What the hell is going on with that thing? What is that thing? Well, Jason Shirka, who appeared on the channel Redacted, was talking about some documents that were given to him a few years ago, called the Pyramid Code, by an unnamed source. He actually appears in an interview with Jason. I'll show you part of that interview. But according to this information, this gentleman is supposedly revealing, secret information about the pyramids. And he had some interesting things to say in that document. I'll give you a little slice of it because this actually might hint at what is down there in those deep chambers, 700, meters underground.
On September 9th of 2020, free for the world on my website. It says exactly that. It says that this technology gave them the ability to build massive pyramids. And it specifically says, as you said, and I quote from the document, I'm reading it right in front of me. Underneath these massive structures are very large basements that house the tools and technology used to make them. Now,
okay, so that is the idea, is that the fancy alien or Atlantean technology used to build the pyramids is actually stored in those deep chambers that are, 80 meters on each side, these cube-like chambers, and as Jason points out, that's almost a football field in length on each side, 700 meters down. That's crazy, guys. That's crazy. But can this information be relied upon? The guy that is giving us this information is this guy in a mask with his voice distorted. I'll give you a little slice of what he had to say.
In ancient Egypt, how you experienced it, what you remember, and then let's tie it back to why that's relevant to today and how it's being used, if it's being used.
Let's talk specifically about the pyramids, and then if you want to move on to something else, we move to something else. But the pyramids were built basically on frequency. I'll give you an example. If I'm going to play a high frequency note here and put a glass here, the glass will break at a certain point because the frequency can break the glass from even 50 feet away. Frequency can elevate things. It doesn't make a difference how much it weighs. It can weigh a ton or a kilo. The right frequency at the right time, at the right note, can elevate a pyramid.
Okay, so that's really interesting, and that's in line with what various other people have said about the technology that might have been used to create the pyramids. Is this guy on the level? I have no idea. He's got his voice distorted. He's in a mask. I tend to be a little skeptical of that. But it's very interesting. I asked Grok about this guy and Jason Shirka and his information. And Grok said Jason Shirka is closely associated with a document titled The Pyramid Code, which he claims was provided to him by an anonymous source known as Ray, that masked guy, a member of an underground organization called the Light System, or TLS. This document, distinct from the documentary series of the same name, was released to the public on September 9th, 2020, in both Hebrew and English. Shirka positions himself as a messenger chosen by TLS to share this information, which he describes as a historical, not religious text recounting the first-hand experiences of an individual from ancient Egypt. According to Shirka, the Pyramid Code unveils mysteries about the construction and purpose of the Egyptian pyramids, asserting they were not merely tombs, but held deeper significance tied to advanced knowledge and a new era for humanity. The document, available for free download, there you go. The narrative expanded in Jason's book, The Pyramid Code, Unlocking the Mysticism and History of the Pyramids, suggests the document reveals esoteric wisdom about life, reincarnation, and humanity's trajectory toward a higher consciousness. So, very interesting. If any of you guys have checked out Jason Shirka's book, The Pyramid Code, Unlocking the Mysticism, or if you've downloaded the Pyramid Code from his website, let me know what you think about it. It's definitely interesting. Definitely food for thought. But yeah, and the guy is wearing a mask. He's got his face distorted, or his voice distorted. It's hard to take that 100% seriously, but maybe he has reasons why he doesn't want to expose his identity. And hey, fair enough. Sometimes there are valid reasons for that. So let me know what you think about this interesting possible information. Meanwhile, Brian Romel updates us on his exploration of using AI to understand the SAR imaging better. I love it when civilians get involved in the research and do their own stuff, and that's the case with Brian. He says a new AI optimization and focus from the Great Pyramid SAR Doppler images released by the team yesterday. This is being run through my AI. And the structure in question that we're talking about predominantly is the one under Khafre. But he's saying this is the SAR imaging from under the Great Pyramid. This is identified as close-up of underground pillar with data loss at 71% to 83% in upper region. Okay, all right, there we go. And he also shares this intriguing image. These look like the giant pillars that are supposed to go way down there. I will give you one shocking insight this AI made on its own. Remember, it is early days. The columns are not natural, and the best postulate is they were not built underground, but were once built on what was the surface of the earth. I leave it there. You heard it here first. I don't know about that one, guys. The 800 or 600 meter tall columns with the cubes on the bottom that's, possibly support the pyramids or at least connect to the pyramids up there were once above ground. Does that mean the pyramids were once above ground according to that information? I question that. I question that, guys. I question that, but that's interesting. That's interesting. In this specimen, we asked the AI model to re-examine the SAR data and understanding the angle and parallax better. The AI has concluded this is not naturally occurring. The Great Pyramid Project has supplied the original image they published yesterday. We see what we see. Well, I agree it's probably not naturally occurring, but I don't know about being built above ground. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Julian's Rum did an AI image of this, created an AI image, and he says, if the SAR scan of the Khafre Pyramid is accurate, then this is how deep the pillars go under the bedrock. So this is supposedly a scale model of how deep this thing is. And of course, according to the research team, there's actually tunnels leading out from this to other chambers below the other pyramids. But yeah, this is how deep this thing supposedly goes. That's nuts, guys. Big if true, big if true. Johnny has the best take on this. Has anyone tried turning it on and off again? Somebody needs to try that. Meanwhile, an update on the Jerry Bruckheimer movie that David Grush is serving as a consultant for. Apple officially lands UFO disclosure project from Joseph Kaczynski and Jerry Bruckheimer. Following Deadline's scoop earlier this month that Apple Original Films was in talks for untitled UFO disclosure package from Kaczynski and Bruckheimer, the studio officially has confirmed it had closed a deal for the package. The film will reunite Kaczynski and Bruckheimer, who worked together on Top Gun Maverick in the upcoming F1. To be written by Academy Award nominee Zach Baylin, the untitled thriller will explore disclosure around UAPs. The film will be produced by Bruckheimer and Chad Oman for Jerry Bruckheimer Films and Kaczynski for Monolith. David Grush will serve as a consultant and associate producer on the project. Well, you go, David. You can get some money from that, being an associate producer, hopefully. Maybe. But there you go, David Grush serving on a UFO disclosure themed movie from some bigwigs, and it's actually been picked up by Apple. Also, some exciting news. Timothy Alberino is going to be investigating the Nazca mummies. At least that's what he's hinting at here. Back in the Peruvian Amazon, he says, doing some filming, exploring newly discovered megaliths, and investigating alien mummies. Join my members community to follow the journey. Well, I'm not a member, but maybe I should check it out. But there you go. He does really intriguing work. He's always got interesting things to say and interesting stories to tell. Done some fascinating research, and of course, a world traveler. Can't wait to see what he thinks or comes up with regarding the Nazca mummies. Meanwhile, Wixie is sharing this page from an MJ12 document talking about alien activity on the backside of the moon. In 1963, JFK sought to ease the uneasy tension by extending cooperation with the USSR in outer space investigation of UFOs through a joint moon project. MJ12 was opposed to this because they felt that militarization of the moon would place the U.S. in a dangerous situation with the EBEs, the ETs, who control the dark side of the moon. Now, there's a lot of information out there and some, I think very compelling evidence to show that, yeah, there's a lot of ET activity on the dark side of the moon. And this would be in line with that. So it makes sense to me that we might want to limit our activity on the moon, and especially limit militarizing the moon because of that. And the idea that JFK was involved in those discussions, we've heard before that, yeah, he was communicating with the Soviets about UFOs and trying to work together on this stuff. And so this is right in line with that. So really, really intriguing idea there. What did the control group know? What did Russia or the Soviet Union know? Did the presence of ETs on the backside of the moon actually alter what we would have done otherwise? Would the Soviets and the U.S. have worked together on this thing if they hadn't been afraid of the ETs? Really interesting question there, and I'd love to know what you think about that. And if you want to read more, just go to majesticdocuments.com and you can read all about it. Let me know what you think about it all in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter, Discord, and Rumble links below. Love to see you guys there. If you want to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store below. Buying one of my novels. I'm a novelist. I write fantasy and sci-fi books. See the link below. Or becoming a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.